Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And that's your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back from the Daily Mail. Interesting. 1 in 5 Americans want to take their vote from Biden back. Polls show 20% regret voting for him as president, while his approval rating continues to drop. That's fascinating. More males regretted their vote than females, as did more minorities than white people. I can understand the male and female part of it, and that's just makes sense from historical polls in the past and historical elections. But the thing that's the big turnaround, I think, is as did more minorities than white people. That's inroads for the Republicans, conservative, MAGA people, if you will. That's huge. Now, I wonder if they're including Hispanic voters in that minority, because it used to be, not too long ago, Hispanics and whites, for census purposes, were the same. Young Biden voters were more likely to regret their vote than older ones. That's another excellent point for Republicans. 3 in 10 Republicans who voted for Biden now regret doing so. I thought that would be higher. The poll was conducted before the cluster blank in Afghanistan. Let's read on. 1/5 of voters who marked Joe Biden's name on their ballot now want their vote taken back. This is interesting. A poll conducted by a Zogby analyst found 20% of Biden voters now regret their choice. Oh, boy. Pretty good for Republicans. 4% aren't sure, and 76% still have confidence in the commander-in-chief. 76? Some people might consider that high, but that means 1 out of 4 says no. Nearly 3 in 10 Republicans who voted for Biden regret it, while 1/5 of Democrats. That's interesting. 29% Republicans, 20% of Dems, and 14% of independents. Independents is what his disapproval rating has been going up. This is not so unusual. Men were more likely to regret their vote than women. 27% of males regretted their vote, only 13% of females. But this is the thing right here. This is the big killer for the Democrats. Young people and minorities are also far more likely to regret their vote. Hispanics regretted their vote the most at 33%. Oh, I got to give that one a round of applause. And I thought this was really high as well, where 25% of African Americans felt the same as it's 16% of white people. That's almost double between regret from white people and regret from Hispanics. That is huge, absolutely huge. And I'll just go through. I'm not going to read the whole article. It's somewhat long. But that's a pretty good graph right there, according to the poll conducted. Do you regret your vote? 3/4 say no. I shake my head in awe and wonder. The survey conducted online by 2,173 Biden voting residents was taken on the week of August 5th through 13th before the fall of cabal. Oh, God. But, on the surface, it doesn't seem like much, especially if you look at the 3/4 of likely voters who do not regret their vote, pollster Zogby said. But if you look who takes into consideration the size of the electorate and how the last 2 presidential elections were decided by tens of thousands of voters, yeah, that's a big deal. His approval is still strong amongst fellow Democrats at 86. I'm surprised. Maybe it's like it's a psychological thing. I don't know if it's subconscious or conscious that when the Democrat, that's a pretty devout Democrat that voted for Joe Biden, gets one of these surveys or polls, and if they admit they had regret, that means they regret voting against Donald Trump. I think that's tied together. They just can't bring themselves to do it. His approval is still strong amongst fellow Democrats at 86, though it's a steep drop to just 56% approval for his job on Afghanistan. Now, that's interesting to me. 86% still do not regret voting for Biden, but 56% only approve of his job in Afghanistan. And that's true when the numbers come out. His disapproval shot up by 9 points. Since then, most of that was independents. No, you don't get do-overs, folks. As Barack Obama said once, I'll be respectful and say President Obama said once to John McCain, rest his soul, elections have consequences. And we're, 6, 7 months in? What more is coming? And by the way, as the employment numbers start to increase, which they will eventually, replacing jobs that were already there before COVID doesn't count. We get to the number, we get to the GDP prior to COVID, that's anything higher than that is an increase. Don't let them spin it. Because before COVID hit, we had X GDP. We had X unemployment. Until we get to that point, we're not in the plus yet. And don't let them tell you differently. Anyway, folks, there's some interesting news. We'll see if these numbers hold. And for those of you that aren't big Biden fans, this is very encouraging, like myself. I am still a Trump supporter, or anybody that Donald Trump endorses for president. I'm all in, barring any unforeseen circumstance or incident, which I doubt. Anyway, folks, there it is. Looks like regret to me. You know, it's like the guy that was married for 30 years and the dumbass had a great wife. And the dumbass dumps his wife for the young girl. And she turns out to be just awful. You wish you could go back, but you can't. So before you make these decisions when you vote, think really, really hard and really, really long. Sometimes you won't want to vote for any of them. I'd like to get a national campaign going for people that don't want to vote for any and write in none of the above. But my channel isn't big enough. Well, maybe someday it will. Anyway, folks, there it is. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.